Well, it's a fact of political life that everyone in Washington gets slapped with a label. Liberal, conservative, hawk, dove, feminist, radical. Robin Hamilton is here with the story of a vice president with a rather unique history with labels. Robin?
Brian, our 27th vice president was James S. Sherman. Sherman served under President William Howard Taft from 1909 through 1912. A 20-year Republican congressman from New York, Sherman was called Sonny Jim for his genial manner and his charm. But he had another label applied to him. A colleague once said Sonny Jim was, quote, preeminently a stand-patter and proud of it. So what does that mean, a stand-patter? It meant that Sherman did not believe in change. As a congressman, this put Sherman at odds with Republican President Theodore Roosevelt, a progressive and a reformer. For example, Roosevelt wanted the food industry to put labels on canned foods that accurately describe the contents of the can. It's hard to believe that there was a time our food products did not list ingredients. But Sherman wanted to stand pat and not change things. He tried to get Roosevelt's proposed legislation amended to include if manufacturers choose to label, those labels must be accurate. Fortunately for consumers, Sherman's attempts to resist reform failed. Roosevelt handpicked his successor, Taft, then left the country to tour Europe and Africa. But the Republican Party chose Sherman to be Taft's running mate. With Roosevelt away, new President Taft and his VP, Sherman, became friends, and Taft moved to the right, away from reformist policies. When Roosevelt returned to America, he was so outraged by Taft's mishandling of his legacy that he formed a third party to run against his former friend. They split the Republican ticket, and Democrat Woodrow Wilson won the White House in 1912. The Taft-Sherman ticket received only 8 electoral votes. That's the poorest showing of a Republican presidential candidate in the 20th century. But standing pat Sonny Jim Sherman didn't live to see his ticket labeled a loser. He died just days before Election Day, forcing William Howard Taft to be the only major presidential candidate to ever appear on the ballot with a deceased running mate. Live in D.C. with your D.C. Connection, I'm Robin Hamilton. Back to you.
Well, thanks, Robin. Sonny Jim Sherman's resistance, by the way, to Roosevelt's can labeling reforms may not have been due solely to his stand-patism. Congressman Sherman was also the president of the New Hartford Canning Company.